looking down to the south, oh, did you see a light show from some storms? I'm going to show you where they are relative to San Antonio, where they're going, and where we're going to have some rain overnight in just a bit.
And one story about a house held at gunpoint during an attempted car theft led to others telling KSAT it's happened to them too. Plus, a shocking statistic about veteran suicide and what the state is doing to try to help those who served our country.
Live from KSAT 12, the Nightbeat starts right now.
And let's start with the forecast. Adam, you talked about that lightning. I saw it for myself, and we've still got action on the radar out there tonight.
Yeah, and when you're outside, you look at it, it seems so close, right? You see it, and it's like, oh, it's just right there, but I'll measure it out for you. It's close to about 50 miles away, but this is the video from the rooftop here at KSAT 12. This is looking south, so you see the Tower of the Americas on the left-hand side. You can even see our broadcast tower there. And it was a good light show, very illuminated sky because of one cluster of storms farther south of San Antonio. Take a look at authority radar and let's get right to it. This thunderstorm is right along the cool front that moved through earlier today, early this afternoon. No big changes in terms of how it feels outside with that cool front, but it's enough to kickstart a big light show. Southern Atascosa County, right along I-37 as well, south of Campbellton for the most part. And this even goes into a little bit LaSalle, but especially McMullen counties. And that's where most of the rain is going to be overnight tonight, south and east of San Antonio. But I measured it out, 47 miles from my vantage point in downtown to this thunderstorm that's south. But it's also throwing some lightning bolts a little bit closer to Bexar County, away from the thunderstorm. We see that from time to time. We'll have another look at that in a second, but here's a 3D view of it, and especially the vantage point standing in downtown, looking to the south, and you see how illuminated that storm is. And look at these white lightning bolts. These lightning bolts indicated by these white lines. I mean, jumping beyond Pleasanton. We're looking south right now, and these thunderstorms do that from time to time. They don't just have the lightning clustered within the storm, but they jump sometimes dozens of miles away from the storm. A closer look at where these storms are headed, how much rain has fallen, and an updated futurecast where the showers are mostly going to be tonight into tomorrow in just a bit.
All right, Adam, we'll see you in a few minutes. Thank you. It happened to someone else just 1 week after criminals were caught on camera aiming a gun at someone's front door while trying to steal their vehicle. Another family says it happened to them too. The night team Zaria Oates continues our coverage of these crimes, this time from a home on the northwest side.
We have seen some recent videos with guns being pointed at a house while another person is doing a burglary of a vehicle.
We've told you about car burglaries before, and they happen all over San Antonio. Many of them
are actually caught on at-home cameras, just like this one.
So when I opened the Ring camera, that's when we saw.
This video is from their front yard when people tried to break into Denise's husband's truck with a gun aimed at their front door.
She was like, oh my God, they had a gun.
One was the lookout, the other one opened the door, the other one had the computer to interrupt and disrupt the connection between his fob and the truck.
The criminals did get the car door open, but then a neighbor pulled into their own driveway and Denise yelled at them over the camera.
Hey, you!
Then they ran, but it's pretty much identical to a crime we shared before. 2 people caught on camera trying to break into this Hellcat while also holding this home at gunpoint.
That was a little scary to understand that there was a live firearm being pointed at a door.
The 2 crimes happened on completely opposite sides of town, one on the northwest side, the other on the southeast. It's a crime that SAPD says is not secluded to just one area.
Throughout the city, it doesn't matter what part of the town. It happens all over the place every day.
And the data proves it. This map created by KSAT in 2024 reflects nearly 19,000 car break-ins across the city from May 2023 to May 2024. So SAPD says lock your car and take valuables you might not even be thinking about.
Title, registration, insurance information, any documents, papers that could have valuable identifying information.
And if you're worried about your safety after incidents like these,
I think they're willing to injure or kill someone over a vehicle.
SAPD says they can offer some relief.
You can request to have police do what's called a patrol by, so when they're not on the call and they have an open time in their shift, they can drive through the neighborhood, drive through the street.
I could have gotten shot myself, but for a truck.
Yeah, and we also asked SAPD a little bit more about the details as to why you can't have your title, your insurance, or any other documents that are important in your car, and what you should do if you're not going to leave those in your car. They did tell us that it is okay to leave them digitally on your phone, to have a copy of your insurance card through the app, so that if unfortunately you are pulled over, you are prepared with those documents that you need to show police. Live downtown, I'm Zaria Oates.
Helpful information, Zaria. Thank you. One person has died and 2 more are in critical condition tonight after a gunman opened fire on an ICE facility in Dallas this morning. It happened just before 7 a.m. Investigators say that 29-year-old Joshua John fired shots at that building and a van filled with detainees outside of the ICE facility. According to the Department of Homeland Security, 1 detainee was killed and 2 more were injured. Law enforcement officials saying that John died of a self-inflicted gunshot wound, and they believe that this was a targeted attack.
Early evidence that we've seen from rounds that were found near the suspected shooter contain messages that are anti-ICE in nature.
No ICE officials or members of law enforcement were hurt in this shooting. Tonight, San Antonio police are asking for your help to find a teenager, 17-year-old Blaine Owen. Blaine is a senior at San Antonio Christian School and was last seen leaving for school on Monday morning, but he never arrived there. He has short, dark blonde hair and was last seen wearing a black polo and gray slacks. Take a look at his picture here. If you have any information, you are asked to contact San Antonio police. Military City, USA is more than a proud nickname. San Antonio has deep roots in our country's armed forces. But behind that pride is an alarming statistic. The night team's Avery Everett shows us support systems that are changing for veterans to address the growing suicide crisis.
We break the stigma by telling our own stories.
It's a crisis that hits close to home. Veteran suicide. San Antonio is known as Military City, USA. But with that distinction comes a harsh reality. 22 veterans die every single day by suicide. Data shows veterans have a 58% higher risk of suicide compared to people who haven't served. That's why our community is having this conversation.
Helplessness, hopelessness, reckless behavior.
Those are the warning signs of suicide. Rhonda Gaston says these are the symptoms that she looks out for every day.
We remove all barriers to care.
She leads the Stephen A. Cohen Military Family Clinic at Endeavors here in San Antonio. This is where veterans and their families can get help from people with lived experience.
I served from 1997 to 2017.
Jennifer Hogue Weidler worked on mental health in the U.S. Air Force. While she's focused on prevention right now, people across the state are starting to build a system to track what happened to veterans who died by suicide.
We found out that there was no one keeping that level of detail.
State Representative Ray Lopez co-sponsored the bill that would create this coordination, a move veterans like Hogue Weidler say are long overdue.
We need to see what the trends are, what are the correlations, so that we can amp up the resources.
To meet alarming statistics, the state of Texas is now taking new action. Avery Everett, KSAT 12 News.
Rates of suicide are even higher among veterans who are women. We dive into the reasons behind that right now on KSAT.com. Imagine being afraid for your life inside your own home. That's how one family says that they feel after their home was hit by gunfire.
I don't know what more serious you need. Seeing the bullet holes on his fence, literally hitting my house, the bullet fragments.
Over the past 3 months, Carlos Valadez says that he has reported multiple instances of shots fired to the Bexar County Sheriff's Office, but he believes little has been done about it. The most recent shooting happened Friday evening when Valadez, his fiancée, and 11-month-old daughter were just feet away. Originally, Valadez thought his neighbor was shooting at the ground to scare off animals and get dogs to stop barking, but soon noticed bullet holes in his own fence. Now that his property has been hit, he's unsure what to do next.
Even if my dogs bark for like 2 seconds, I'm just like freaked out. I'm like, oh my God, what if he shoots? And I'm like here in the kitchen and I'm like trying to avoid the windows because I'm like, I don't know what bullet's gonna go through.
The Bexar County Sheriff's Office reports that the neighbor admitted to shooting to try to scare away raccoons, but denies aiming at Valadez's home or anyone else, despite the fact Valadez's property has damage. We've tried contacting that neighbor, but haven't heard back yet. The last 2 months have been tough for local kids. Since July, at least 9 children have been hurt or put in danger or have died. In just 2.5 weeks last July, 2 toddlers were found alone in different parts of Bexar County. Neighbors helped make sure they were safe, but the parents were arrested in both those cases. Some tragedies came too late to prevent, like an 8-year-old who was shot by another child and 3 kids left in hot cars who did not survive. Over this past weekend, 2 more children died. Their mother blamed a hot car, but sheriff's detectives are investigating and they have arrested her. A child safety expert tells us that it takes all of us, parents and neighbors, to keep kids safe and speak up when something's wrong. Residents at a senior living center say they've had enough with the poor living conditions in their homes. Still ahead here on the Nightbeat, what they're experiencing and the response from the property manager. Also coming up, Camp Mystic will reopen next summer, but it won't be the original location. We'll tell you what we know and why some disagree with this decision. Camp Mystic has announced it will reopen next summer, but it will not be the location where 27 campers and counselors died in the July 4th floods. Instead, the camp sent a letter to families saying it would reopen its other location at Cypress Lake for the summer of 2026. It's in the same hill country vicinity, but not right along the Guadalupe River. That camp was not damaged by the flood. But the news caused a different type of shock for some of the families who lost daughters at Mystic. Mystic's letter mentioned a memorial that will be built for the campers and counselors who were lost. Yet some of the families said that they were not consulted about that and are upset about it.
I know a lot of the families, and it is a grief that I pray I never have to endure. I just want them to know that we love them so much. And we pray for them daily. And the strings we have to each other are because of Mystic.
Some do support the decision to reopen, but the mother of 8-year-old Seal Stewart, the only girl from Camp Mystic still missing, blasted that decision. She told the New York Times, quote, "The truth is Camp Mystic failed our daughters. Camp Mystic is pressing ahead with reopening, even if it means inviting girls to swim in the same river that may potentially still hold my daughter's body." End quote. The letter from Mystic did also mention the Guadalupe location where the flooding happened. The camp said they will, quote, "continue to evaluate plans to rebuild Camp Mystic Guadalupe River. Our planning and procedures will reflect the catastrophic 1,000-year weather event that occurred on July 4th, including never having campers return to cabins that had floodwaters inside them." End quote. No air conditioning, bed bugs, and an unsecure building. These are just a few of the many issues that residents are facing at Wheatley Park Senior Living on the east side. The building is owned by the city, but managed by an independent firm. Residents joined together to send a message to those in charge that they are fed up with broken promises.
Get down here and do their work and quit scamming and frauding people with their money. We pay our rent on time. It's a shame. You tell me it's a shame. Tell them they got their mother, their uncle, and everybody our age 62 on up. Are they living like we are?
Rita Bethany lives at Wheatley Park. She tells us she still doesn't have air conditioning in her bedroom more than a year after she last spoke to us about these same issues. Residents also have concern about some exterior doors not being locked. They say people who do not belong in the building will sneak in and vandalize the property or try to live in the bathrooms. In an email, the property management company told us it is working with a new vendor to address ongoing AC malfunctions after the last vendor went out of business. As for the security issue, the company said they have replaced the door code system and all residents will receive a new key fob. They also remind residents not to share door codes with people who do not live there. We'll continue to follow it to see what happens. A look outside with live cam. You saw that lightning show earlier that Caskey showed us. All of this rain that we were hoping for really just seems to be to our south, Adam.
Yeah, it is. And that's where the vast majority of it's going to be overnight tonight as well. And it just shows you the potential of, where it could have been if that was over the recharge zone or something.
Oh, yeah.
just 55, 65 miles north would have been a little bit better, but it's going to stay to the south. So I have a 20% chance overnight because we still could have a little bit of development closer to town, but I really am losing confidence in that actually happening. Here's the deal. There's the cool front that's been moving through, and it's no coincidence that most of the showers are right along that weak boundary, but it's enough. That wind shift line with that front is enough to help kickstart these showers and thunderstorms. Now, this is what I was mentioning a little bit earlier, and I'm sorry, but this green all around here, that's just a little bit of clutter we get in the evenings. Ignore all that. That's not rain. I want to focus on the showers and storms, and I touched on this earlier. See these lightning strikes way out from the thunderstorm? Some of those lightning strikes, we call these bolts from the blue because you may have blue skies overhead, but you can have lightning strikes. This is why even if you can hear thunder, you're within striking distance of lightning. Look at that, 24 miles away, this lightning strike right here in Wilson County. We've got a few of these. So the lightning actually is getting a little too close for comfort, if you ask me, for how far away we are from this thunderstorm. But this is the thunderstorm that's really just drifting. Take a look at it over the past hour, just drifting to the southeast. It is moving, but not very much. Down I-35, Dilley-Cotulla area, a few pop-up showers, but this is the main meat and potatoes thunderstorm that is really dumping some heavy rainfall. Look at these accumulations. And I'll turn off the lightning so it's not too distracting here. But notice this yellow and orange area. Southern Atascosa County into McMullen County here, and popping up these totals. Radar estimates of about 3.8 inches because that storm popped up and really just hasn't moved much. Here's our futurecast through the night, and I think it really sums everything up as we're expecting. Just south of San Antonio, south and east of town. Yes, one or two possible elsewhere, but the vast majority of the heavy showers and storms will be closer to the Gulf Coast and far south of Highway 90 overnight tonight. And even for the morning commute tomorrow, could be a rogue quick sprinkle or light shower, but I don't anticipate any issues. Okay, we had the cool front move through. Only a few subtle changes with it. One will be in the humidity. Dew points still way up there, 60s and 70s. That'll be the case through midday tomorrow. But notice as we get into tomorrow afternoon, these dew points drop down into the 50s. So we will get a break from the mugginess, and that will lead to some, I don't want to necessarily say cooler, but not as warm mornings down in the mid 60s. Rather than being in the 70s, we'll be in the mid 60s by Friday and Saturday at sunrise, and upper 60s thereafter. Really quickly, tropical storm Humberto, soon to become a hurricane in the days ahead as it heads toward Bermuda. And notice we have two areas we're watching, not just Humberto, but another that could make its way closer to the east coast of the U.S. Tomorrow, 72 degrees at sunrise, 86 noon. Still near 90 for the high temperature despite that weak cool front. 88 Pleasanton, 91 Uvalde and Kerrville tomorrow, 86. Highs right near 90, give or take a few degrees, and a slight chance of showers again by early next week, Myra.
All right, thank you, Adam. Okay, Larry, Jeff Traylor, he is trying to shut down the rumors.
Yeah, and right now it's purely speculation, and Oklahoma State needs a new head football coach. Jeff Traylor, one of the winningest college coaches out there right now. Of course, his name is going to be tossed out for this. Today, we talked to him about that OSU speculation. And in the NFL, has Micah Parsons heard from Jerry Jones since the trade? He'll tell you after the break.
I think Dallas loves me. I think they're going to give me a good round of applause. And, there's no hard feelings there.
Micah Parsons feels Cowboys fans will show him some love on Sunday in Big Board Sports. Oklahoma State needs a head football coach, and Jeff Traylor's name is on a list of candidates to replace Mike Gundy, who was fired yesterday. Now in his 6th year at UTSA, this is pretty much an annual routine for Traylor. Today, Coach talked about the speculation and said he addressed his team.
It's no different than all the other things we've heard since I've been here. I've proven over and over and over again this is where I want to be. My wife and I absolutely love it here. And what makes that stuff happen is us winning games. That's why that happens. So we are always on Temple. That's it. Now the reason I had to address it is just because I want to make sure that they're hearing it from me. of my commitment to stay at UTSA, and my wife and I, how much we love San Antonio.
Senator Ben Rios, number 57 out of Central Catholic High School, says coach is great with helping them deal with the outside noise.
The thing about him is he just wants us to focus on the now. You know, all that, the extra, you know, he always talks about poisoning the noise. And if it's just like an away game at A&M in the crowd, you know, we need to focus on the game. And with him, his mentality was there's a lot of stuff going on, positive and negative, on social media and just other stuff that we just don't need to focus on right now. What we need to focus on is next week when we play Temple.
Yep, they are focused on their conference opener at Temple, set for Saturday, October 4th at noon. Green Bay at Dallas means the return of Micah Parsons to AT&T Stadium. Dallas traded him to Green Bay after a failed contract extension. In 3 games with the Packers, Parsons has 5 total tackles and 1.5 sacks. He had 52.5 sacks in 4 seasons with the boys. And Shoddy says Green Bay's defense is more than Parsons.
Like I said, you know, they've got other really good players as well. But it's not just about Micah. It's about their entire defense. But really, it's about us. It's about us controlling what we control. And those guys out there on defense, including Micah, Rashawn Gary, those guys are great, great players, man. But if we get caught up too much on them, then you lose focus on what really matters, which is your execution.
Parsons told the Green Bay media that it's just another game for him, that he does have a lot of ties there. And he was asked if he's talked with Jerry Jones since the trade.
Nah, I mean, I never even heard from Jerry Jones himself when I even got traded. I found out through my agent. Like, I haven't talked to Jerry Jones since, like, what, OTAs? So, you know, it's just like one of those things.
Parsons versus his former team sounds like must-watch TV Sunday night at 7:20.
Today we're having the unveiling of, we're renaming the Harlandale High School gym to the Sylvia Cardenas Gymnasium.
It was a special night at Harlandale High School where they renamed the gym after the late Sylvia Cardenas. Coach was a Harlandale alumna who dedicated 33 years to Harlandale ISD, including 28 seasons as head volleyball coach at Harlandale High School. And her husband, Richard, is happy she got this honor.
From the family, want to thank the Harlandale Independent School District for honoring Sylvia and recognize her accomplishments. The impact she had on people's lives and how they have supported her through the years, and she really had a passion of what she did. So the legacy and the impact that she's had on people's lives has meant really a lot to this community.
And they also had a balloon release at the dedication ceremony. We'll be right back.